Namaste everyone, this is Pooja. It's been a while since we did any recordings or we spoke to someone. So today we, on public demand, because many people are thinking about going for recreational therapy programs in Canada. So recreational therapy could be 1 year program or a 2 year program. Many of you have asked regarding it. Frankly, I didn't know much about it, but we do have an expert on it. She's studying it right now. So please welcome Rutuja. She is studying recreational therapy as of now, and she's kind enough to share her time on a Friday, which is it's nice because many people won't. She's kind enough to share her details, her experiences. So Rutuja, welcome and thank you so much. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Hi, thank you for having me. I am Rutuja and I have completed my bachelor's in physiotherapy from KL Institute of Physiotherapy in February 2021. I am studying therapeutic recreation in Georgian College right now.
Okay. So Rutuja, why Canada?
Okay, so I was anyways planning of moving to a different country at some point in time. But I would say that living in India, we are less independent. And so, to start with, Canada is they welcome multiculturalism. Then Canada is a bit economical, and also PTs are welcomed in Canada, as like everyone must be knowing. So I thought that Canada would be a good fit for me.
Definitely. Yeah. So Canada is a welcoming country. Canada has favorable terms in terms of immigration as well, and they are quite good with the students as well. Like you get benefits if you're a student. You get you're respected, and if you're a healthcare professional, you're always respected. No, like trust me, no matter where you go as a healthcare professional, you'll always be respected in demand, and that's good.
Exactly.
In terms of physiotherapy, though, we have a lot of issues going on. So yeah, Canada does like physiotherapists, but somehow the colleges are making a mess out of it. But that's for another day. That being said, so yeah, choosing Canada is a wise decision, and we chose Canada before like 2 years. So yeah, I do appreciate coming to Canada. So Rutuja, tell us more about how and why did you choose therapeutic recreation, and how did you end up choosing Georgian College?
Okay. So I was going through the options available for us, and as we all know that masters is not required for PTs in Canada. So the courses which were available were more of management and administrative type of courses, which I am not interested in. I wanted to do more of field work, and like having a patient interaction is a thing for me. So I went through the courses and I saw that most of them were like 1 year courses, like gerontology or recreation therapy or exercise science courses. So all these were 1 year courses. On top of that, this is a very interesting thing. I gave my IELTS very late. So by the time I was going to choose the courses, all the options available for me were like 1 year courses. And I'm thankful that this happened to me, because now I feel that choosing a 1 year course over a 2 year course will give a more better perspective to us to look into what is actually happening in Canada, what other
Choices you
options
can
could
make.
I, yeah, I could explore more
And then you
choices.
can make your own choice, like being in the country, looking at things around, already studied for a year or so. So you have an idea whether you want to change places or you want to stick with the same place, do something different. And if you're lucky enough, sometimes you could get a PR with like a 1 year program as well. Like you do a 1 year program, you study for one
Yeah,
year, you're done. So yeah,
yeah.
that's the smart move. So
And
how about Georgian?
yeah, so yeah, I was getting to it. Georgian was one of the first colleges to start recreation therapy as a subject in a college. So, recreation therapy, I would go into the history of it a little bit. So, recreation therapy was initially started for the veterans, the war veterans, and it concentrated more on just the mental health issue of it. But slowly, it got incorporated into hospitals and was given to other specialties as well. So Georgian was one of the first colleges to start recreation therapy, and I thought, why not go into a college which,
Was a
is,
pioneer.
yeah, was a pioneer in the course.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that. So thank you for the history. Yeah, so that's a really smart way of putting it in, and I would just want everyone else to know as well that if you are writing your statement of purpose, or if you're explaining your reason of choosing a college, if you would just do it like Rutuja said, if you literally take interest and then figure out why the specific subject, like you give really, like if I was someone who was choosing a student, I would choose you because you're interested in the college, you're interested in the course, you have good valid reasons. Even though you're a physiotherapist, you have valid reasons of why you want to take this course. We won't talk about masters is not needed, so I took this diploma, but the rest of it does make absolute sense, and that's a good way of putting a course. That's a good way of choosing how, like, this is what I wanted and this is why I chose it. So
I would
yeah,
also
that's
like to add a thing, like
yeah.
as you said in the SOP and all. So recreation therapy is a postgraduate course. So like people, like there are many people who say that they aren't able to get a diploma course. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason being that you already have a bachelor's degree back home. So if you choose a program which is like a postgraduate course, there are chances of you getting
Further.
selected. Yeah.
That's something that I've heard. So like, because I spoke to a couple of other people, and I had one really busy man doing a 2-year diploma program. So that's a 2-year undergraduate recreational therapy. And he said he got in. So that's the thing. Like, many people feel like if you do an undergraduate program, your visa could be rejected. The chances are there. It's an assumption that specifically if you already have a bachelor's and a master's and then you go for an undergraduate, that just doesn't set well. Again, if you have valid reasons, if you have solid reasons, that's fine. Let's say for me, if I take a course like undergraduate diploma in psychology, it would make sense because it's
Yeah.
totally different from what my
Different.
field
Yeah.
is, right?
Yeah.
So then you just need to explain. But yeah, that's a good point, and this is a good healthy discussion, as in like why you would say go for a postgraduate diploma. And I
Yeah.
agree, it's a safer choice. But
Yeah.
if things are not favorable, or if, as you said, if you start the process late, then you can think about whatever options that are there. So tell us a little bit more about the course structure and in itself, like how long is the course, how much does it cost?
Okay. So therapeutic recreation, or it's also known as recreation therapy. Some colleges provide a 2-year course,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them offer it as a one year course. So my course at Georgian is a 1-year course with 3 semesters.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 2 semesters are your theory, and the last one is the internship. And the requirements are that you should have a degree or a diploma in any of the health sciences to get into this program. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, makes sense. And okay. So you said there's 2 semesters of theory. So during that period, do you see any patients? Do you interact with any people, or it's just pure like theory based? You just go to the class, come back home. How does that work?
Uh, so in both the semesters, we have a 35 hours voluntary experience as one of our assignments.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, due to COVID and all, I was not able to find a placement and we had to do an alternative assignment. But regularly, like uh, taking the component of COVID out, we do have a 35 hours placement time in both the semesters. So it's a voluntary experience, but yeah, you could use that time to choose the kind of population which you would like to work in the future.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. So 35 hours is like a week
Yeah,
duration. So every semester you have 1 week where you can do volunteer work, basically.
yeah.
Okay, that's good. And then in the last semester, does the college give you placements, or do you select, or is either or? How does that work?
We have to like go to the agencies and find out whether they are taking students for the summer internship. And then, yeah, if we get a placement, we inform the college, and then all the documentation and paperwork is done.
Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, this is something important. Like if someone is applying, I would want you to focus on this, that not only are you studying, but in the end, you are also responsible for applying it all by yourself. So please be a little bit mindful about it. Some people like wake up at the very end, like you don't have the applications put in. Please don't do that. Yeah. So, and how much does it cost? What is, how did it cost you?
Okay. So it costs around 26,000 Canadian dollars
Okay.
for all the 3 semesters.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, usually from what I've seen, so per semester, how much would it be?
It's 9,800 something Canadian dollars
Okay, so
per semester.
Okay, so because so far what I've heard was like courses used to be 7,000 to 8,000 per semester. This is a little bit more expensive. I'm considering because it's a postgraduate diploma, they have, and because it's a 1 year program, it's a little bit more expensive than what a 2 year, uh,
Yeah,
like compared to like a one semester out of a 2 year program as opposed to your 1 year program, it's a little bit more expensive. Instead of
yeah,
15 to 18,000, you're going up 2026.
yeah.
Okay. And okay, that's the expense part of it. Can you go into a little bit more detail about like how was your first semester? What were the, like just a brief about the first semester, your subjects and stuff like that?
Okay. So in the first semester, I had subjects like assessment process, foundations of TR, um, recreation therapy with specific populations, then biological sciences. So all the subjects are like things which kind of we had studied in our bachelors. So assessment process is like how would you interact with your patients, what all you need to assess and all. And then we use a process called APIDE. APIDE is a abbreviation for assessment, planning, implementation, evaluation, and documentation. So in-depth knowledge about how things work in a hospital or in a long-term care setting. How would you address your clients? Then foundations is like history and how TR got to a place where it is right now. And it's a fairly new field. Like the colleges started incorporating TR in like early 2000s. So it's a new field in Canada as well.
Okay.
So we are taught about that. And then a bit about biological sciences, like what are the conditions and what are the signs and symptoms? How can we adapt according to this? How can we address the clients with those specific conditions? And all those is taught in the first semester. My second semester has subjects like research. Um, so yeah, we have to encounter research at some point in our time. So yeah, I have
Yeah.
research, I have natures of disability, I have leisure education, issues and trends in TR. So it
Okay.
is more of like the first semester is more of learning, and the second semester is more of like how,
Implementation.
yeah, implementation and
Yeah.
real life situations.
Got it. Yeah, makes sense. And then in the last semester, you go do your internship and then see people and how.
Yeah.
So yeah, first that makes absolute sense. In simple words, can you explain what recreational therapy is? Because as you said, it's a new field. Many would not know about it. So like, how would you explain it?
Okay. So in simple words, how I would put it into is like a person does a job for remunerative purposes. Okay. It is not necessary that you like what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And leisure is a time where a person is able to express himself or herself and be the person who he or she really is. So, taking this leisure time and using it into a therapeutic way so as to address the physical, social, emotional well being of a person is what recreation therapist does. So, if I were to compare it with some of the concepts which we studied in our physiotherapy, is so most of the components are from the CBR point of view, like patient centered care or community integration, or things like activity limitation, participation restriction, how to adapt in a particular situation. So, all these components are what we study and we implement it on our clients.
So, can you tell me about like what a recreational therapist actually does? Like, what would a day look like for a recreational therapist?
Okay. So, if I have a stroke patient, the patient was a golf player, a recreational golf player. Okay. So, how would I give a therapy to that person? My job would be to assess what are his needs, what are the goals which I need to meet for the patient.
Mm-hmm.
So, it could be physical goal as he's not able to use one side of his body. Then it could be a social need. The person is less social now.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I have to meet those two goals, the physical one and the social one, so I would give advocacy to him.
Mm-hmm.
How can he use an adapted um,
Like golf,
instrument?
yeah, golf stick
Yeah,
or something like that. Okay.
yeah. Teach him how to use it, teach him how to go about his ADLs,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe form a group,
Mm-hmm.
gather other stroke patients, make a group, make a study group, a reading group, or a music group, and then get them to talk with each other so that they would be more open.
Yeah. And I have worked with geriatric population, and I believe that it's not just the physical ailments that they have. It's also the lack of social interaction.
Yeah.
Like I'm from India, so my grandmother, when she was in good health, she would go to a temple, and that is not just for religious purposes. It's also because she'll meet her friends there. They'll sing songs. So there will be activities. They'll dance. They'll praise the Lord. Whatever it is that they do. But that was an activity. Now that she can't walk, she can't do that. That not only she misses out on the physical part of it, she also misses on the social part of it. So it
Yeah,
does affect you
exactly.
physically and mentally as well. So from what
Yeah.
I understand, a recreational therapist just tries to sort of reintegrate those things, whatever we can, and whatever adaptive ways you can, to get the client, as close to their previous position as you
Life as possible. Yeah,
can.
exactly.
Okay, so that's a really good description. Thank you for the examples. And like, how does this course help you in like getting employment? Like, what are your future employment possibilities? Like, where can you work?
Okay. Okay, I would start it from like this stage itself. I would like to add that recreation therapy students can work as a recreation therapy assistants in long-term care homes or hospitals during their study time. So I can work as a part-time recreation therapy assistant. After completion of the course, there are two pathways. You can either get registered with the Therapeutic Recreation Ontario, which
Mhm.
is like a governing body. And another point is you can get certified as a CTRS,
Mhm.
a certified recreation therapist. So for doing this, you need to get a degree in TR. Then you need to complete certain hours of practice. And then if you want to get certified, you have to work some hours under a CTRS.
Mhm.
And after that, you have to give an exam, which is known as NCTRS. So
Okay.
that's the exam which you give, and then you can be certified as a recreation therapist.
Got it. So, for those of you who don't know what TR is therapeutic recreation. I didn't get it for the first two times, but then I was like, okay, this is what TR is. So that's therapeutic recreation, and what Rutuja said, we'll put links in the description. So please go check it out if you are someone who is thinking of it, who wants to know how the certification process or registration process looks like. So yeah, so that's how you get registered or certified, or you get into an organization. What are the most probable areas where you'll work, like locations where would you be working?
Okay. You can work in a hospital, in an ICU setting, or in specialized hospitals, in children's hospitals, in long-term care homes, in nursing homes, and you can also start a private practice.
Okay, that's good to know. So yeah, so for me so far, all I knew was that you could either work with the pediatric population or the geriatric population. I didn't really know much about the private practice, so that's something that's new. So yeah, I think usually people start with working in a hospital setting or a long-term care setting, and then you slowly move out. And when you feel confident enough, you start your own practice, or you do part-time, both of those things. Uh, how does the employment opportunity look like in Ontario? Have you done your research, like according to you, whatever you feel like?
Yeah. So I was searching for my internship options. What I found out was the places like Aurelia, Barrie, Muskoka, those regions which are like the retirement places, those have a lot like more opportunities in the sense that there are more number of long-term care homes or nursing homes which are available there. But
Mhm.
there are also in the GTA region, you have the hospitals and like big organizations or non-profit organizations where also you can apply for your employment.
Okay. And when we're talking about locations, as you said, so that's one thing that I want to always discuss about. So you studied in Georgian. Can you explain where it was? How was living in Aurelia for you?
Okay, yeah. So my campus was Georgian College in Aurelia. Aurelia is a small town which is like a few kilometers away from Barrie. Aurelia is a very small place, but you'll find Indians. That is, of course, you'll find Indians in any part of Canada.
Yeah.
It is very,
Specifically Ontario, you'll find a lot of
of course, yeah.
Indian population. Yeah.
So it was peaceful living over there. Um, I couldn't find a house back in India, so I was searching from India. I couldn't find a house there. But after coming over here,
Mhm.
uh, I think that using Kijiji, I would not advise using Kijiji or other sites.
Mhm.
Instead, if you find houses on Facebook, like there are Facebook pages, Indians in Aurelia, which what it is called. So if I put an ad over there were like many people who were offering like houses. And so I got one of the houses over there. I was living with a very awesome Indian family.
Yeah.
And yeah, people are very welcoming and they're very helpful. And also, things in Aurelia are like in walking distance. You don't need to take a public transport, so you can save your money like that.
Okay.
There are a lot of job opportunities. There are opportunities for PTA as well. Like if
Mm.
people are wondering, you
Yeah.
can get PTA jobs. You can get other jobs if you want to work. Like I was working in a pizza shop for some time,
Mm.
and yeah, it was easy to get a job because it is a small place. There are less people, so there are more job opportunities. Is what I would like to say.
Okay. Well, you make it sound like I should be. I mean, yeah, I would move there right now. Like, yeah, if it's like because nothing in Canada so far from what I've seen is in walking distance. Like everything is like so huge and so far away. Like the closest grocery from my place is at least 7 minutes, and
Mm-hmm.
that is two in car, not by walking distance. I'm pretty sure. So when you say walking distance, that's like number one thing for me. And so yeah, that's something good for students who are planning to come in. You do save a lot on your transportation, although transportation is free for students, like your bus transport is free, so not a huge consideration. I'm assuming the rent would be reasonable as compared to what you would look at in Toronto or Brampton or Mississauga.
Yeah, the rent is a bit higher,
Okay.
but I would say that like in sense of cleanliness and all, I found out that Aurelia has had more cleaner and newer houses in
Uh-huh.
comparison to the places in like Toronto GTA region.
Yeah, because those places that you'll find houses which are made like for 100 years, right? You
Yeah,
will have landlords who would not want to do anything in the house. Like if it's going on rent, they'll just clean up the basic thing and then that's it. That's done. They're renting it out. So yeah, that's Aurelia. How cold was it? That's the main concern.
oh yeah. Aurelia is on a bit of altitude, so the cold over there is a bit more than what is experienced in the GTA region, but
Okay.
it's manageable.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured because when we moved from like when I moved from India to New Jersey, we were like, it's gonna be cold. But then when I came to Canada, I was like, New Jersey is not at all cold. But then yeah, it's manageable. Like it's snowy outside today, but it's still manageable. So I completely get you. Like it's -10 or -20 or 25. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah,
And
the
minus
same.
is
Yeah.
minus. You're cold. So yeah, fine. But yeah, you manage it. So that's Aurelia. That's how you lived and that's where you started. Do you have any suggestions like as you said, don't use Kijiji? Are there any other suggestions for students who are planning to live in Aurelia or who are planning to like do recreational therapy? Do you have like any points for that?
I would say that people who are like more interested in field work, patient interaction, should
Hmm.
go for this course. Because one thing is that, like anywhere we practice in the future, be it PT or anything else, you will get an idea of how things work
Hmm.
in a hospital setting, in healthcare setting. What is there? What like, of course, there are differences between India and Canada. Even if we have work experience in India, we
Hmm.
need to know how things are working in Canada.
Hmm.
So I would suggest that people who are interested in doing field job or are more interested in doing patient interaction and all should take such a subject, and then it's an opportunity for you to explore how things work over here. What are the other things which you could do, improve on?
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely sure because I do talk to students who are genuinely interested in the administration part of it. So with healthcare administration, they're genuinely
Yeah,
interested in. Some are taking it just because they think like it's a postgraduate program and I'll take it. It's a safe program, right? So, but again, recreational therapy is a good option if just want to explore, you want to do a postgraduate diploma and just explore, see how patient and recreation. I mean, because you're working a lot with the patient psyche and understanding them,
yeah,
communicating with them. This is what you do as a therapist. This is basically every healthcare professional. We do that. We try to create a
yeah,
rapport with the patient to understand. Even as a
exactly.
physiotherapist, I need to know what they're going to do because I can't be giving exercises and I have to get to the patient's level. Like, okay, like I start with like 30 repetitions and then I was like, okay, if you can do five, just five in the morning, five in the evening, and five at night, that's fine. I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
So you bend down your expectations, you modify it, you change it. If it's an athlete, you go higher. If it's someone who's not interested, you go down. So that's something as a physiotherapist, you do it, as a healthcare professional, you do it. So I
yeah.
your arguments make sense that that's a good course that way. All right. So what about the food? Like, do we get Indian food there? Like, or like, how is the food thing going on in earlier?
Okay, so this is one thing which is of concern. You won't get a lot of Indian, like you will get Indian restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Those are expensive, of course. And like Indian food in groceries is hard to find over there.
Mm-hmm.
And so people usually go to Berry to purchase their groceries and all. So that is one of the disadvantage, I would say, of living in Aurelia.
Okay. And so if you're traveling to Bari, do people usually, like students, have you seen students owning a car right away? Is it necessary that you need a car, or it's fine if you just use the public transport?
No, the public transport is like commonly used by the students.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. We do have a pretty decent idea of what recreational therapy looks like. What is it living and studying in Aurelia in Georgian? What does your future look like? What are your future goals? What are you planning as a recreational therapist?
As of now, by God's grace, I got my internship placement at Sunnybrook Hospital in Toronto, and my internship starts in May. So I would have my 4 months of internship to complete, and after that, uh, I can go for the RTRO, which is Registered Therapeutic Recreation in Ontario designation.
Awesome. So Sunnybrook, for those who don't know, is a really interesting place and it's a prestigious place to be doing internship in. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We wish you all the very best and thank you so much for sharing all the details that you have shared so far. I'm pretty sure this clears a lot of things for many students. And if you guys have any other questions, put it in the comment section. Either of us would try to respond to it, or else you can join us on Instagram as well. You can leave us a message there. You can join us on Facebook. So yeah, connect with us. And thank you so much, Rutuja, once again for sharing your time, sharing your experience. And yeah, take care and hope to see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.